Hello, everybody, and welcome to the USAEL Open Fall 2025 Finals. I am David DRF, joined by Andres Jaws. How are you doing, my friend? It has been a long season, and we are here at our final streamed match of the season.
That is right. I'm doing fantastic. Thank you for asking, David. It has been a great day. Hopefully all these students have had a great day as well, and they've hopefully been practicing and getting ready for this match. But yes, it has been a long season of so many games, and we have been seeing some of those finals kind of go down here, and they have been just down to the wire. All these nail biters and just really all of these great players coming together and just like finally kind of seeing all these people going back and forth and just really just kind of having this time to really like duke it out. So it's been really great. It's been really fun. It's been just such a treat to just watch everybody kind of uh get together and play.
Yeah, it certainly has. And I mean, the story of these playoffs so far have really been, that one team sort of comes out of the gate pretty hot, and you get a little bit of back and forth in these early games, but one team eventually runs away with it, but the other team playing catch up all set long. And then, I mean, at least the two matches that we've seen so far in Rocket League and Smash, phenomenal game threes that came down to the wire. And I think we are hoping that today is no exception. Another best of five coming your way. We're going to get started here in just a few moments. But Andres, I mean, these two teams, we've got the Falcons taking on Speedway, and between these two, I believe they have won a combined 9 matches so far this season, with only one loss. And the
Wow.
last time these two teams played each other, it went to a decisive game three in a best of three. So I think we're in for a little bit of a treat.
Oh boy, and today is gonna be a best of five, right? If I'm not mistaken. And oh wow, it looks like we're hopping right into it, and we're having these two teams already picking out their characters, and it looks like we're having I was gonna say Angela in play. We have one Angela in play. It looks like on it looks like the Falcons there, and Speedway going to go ahead and grab the Magneto and the Hulk, which is very interesting, very fun actually, very not too bad, two tanks like that going at it. But the Falcons, they're kind of defaulting here to that Angela and the Doctor Strange. I was talking about this earlier, David. That Strange was definitely coming out. So I do love to see Strange. Strange is he has a really big shield. He kind of he does sit in the front. He wants to be in the front. He's a little bit slow, but he does a lot of damage. Kind of like the more damage he does with his normal primary fire, he's gonna kind of do. He's gonna load these like this like energy, and the more energy he has, he can unload it with this his E, and it kind of goes like an AOE attack, and it just does so much damage. The more damage he keeps doing, it's really great. And yet he has to expel it out, or he gets this kind of no heal kind of thing. But we do have Bucky and that Psylocke, and we kind of have everyone really starting already. I'm so stoked.
Diving in, the action is hot right off the bat as the mission area gonna just start to unlock here. Capturing is gonna be the Falcons. They take first control.
Wow. And they do take the point right away here. And we do kind of have that Angela going up and just kind of being really annoying up in the high ground. And we do have that Jeff you were talking about. Looks like those Falcons are running that Jeff. That Jeff the Land Shark, super fun to see as usual. But we do have this really fast-paced game here with Strange kind of getting closer to getting rid of that Boon Knight. Oh my god, I was talking really fast here. But we do have Hulk also here in the front, just kind of getting down those punches there. But it looks like no one's really dying so far, and the ult already coming out for Moon Knight. He's just trying to get somebody, and he really can't find out about it. And the first skill coming out is actually Psylocke onto the Star Lord. Very interesting.
And here we're going to see Jeff actually with their ultimate ready, but they're going to go ahead and take advantage of the big cluster of folks from Speedway,
Ooh,
able to pick up just one. So not going to be able to get the value out of that they had maybe hoped
a
for.
big
But
character to take out though.
yes,
Oh, and he just
certainly.
can't quite get that Invisible Woman. Oh,
It
and
looks
it's looking
like
like it's pretty crazy right now. We got two Invisible Woman ults onto the point. Angela trying to take out that Starlord, just can't quite get it. Starlord really trying to get onto that just so fast and so well. And Strange it looks like Speedway trying to take back here, getting all those kills. Moon Knight grabbing onto that kill onto the Angela. They're down a tank, so it looks like they have kind of settled down here on Speedway. Good cap.
and looks like Speedway finally going to make some headway on the objective. Now really trying to set up a bit of a lockout. It looks like a bit of a choke point. The Falcons trying to break through, able to finally make some forward momentum back towards the objective, and not going to be able to contest this one quite yet as they do lose Jeff. So Speedway maintains control of the numbers and the objective, but a couple of different specials now going to be coming out as well.
That's right. And we do have all that percentage being added through, just kind of getting that cap, getting that 42%, almost 45. Probably getting away with 50 here, even if the Falcons kind of take over, that's still a lot of points. And David, how do we win this matchup? It's kind of like a control point, King of the Hill.
Yeah, I mean, it really is King of the Hill. Make sure that you hold that central point for as long as possible. You want to get that progress bar at the top all the way to 100%, and the Falcons
Mm-hmm.
creeping in on the final 15% to capture game number one.
That's right. And Speedway, they just kind of want to get onto the point. They want to move this fight onto the point, but Falcons are forcing this onto the choke. And here we see Hulk with that ability, just trying to get to that point. And as I said here, they took everything onto the point. Falcons throwing up that invisible winnow. It's going to be really hard for Speedway to get any form of kills or any form of damage inside of that ult. So that's kind of what Invisible Woman's ult. Inside of that, just kind of a lot of healing. It's just sort of like this ultra healing happening all the time. So it's like once that's up, if everybody's in there, it just gets all of that healing. And Magneto here trying to get those kills, and we have trading back and forth those eliminations. We have Jeff trying to get rid of it, and we have that stabilization once again from Speedway, but they did have to burn a lot of ultimates. They do not have any ultimates really leading up here. Maybe just kind of that Hulk one, maybe the Bucky one also leading up, but Falcons have two ready. We have that Strange ult, which puts kind of freezes everybody around him, and then we have the Bucky ult already online and ready to go.
Hulk with their ultimate ready to go as well. Speedway have extended this first game by taking it into overtime
There's that
and
ultimate.
taking back control of the point. And now the Hulk smash coming through, and it's a one-man army on Dress trying to take out all of the Falcons. Now closing it on 15% themselves now.
And look at all that damage. He's really doing a lot of damage while creating a lot of space for his team and just like really taking the entire team on his own. So as kind of what Falcons did before the Speedway, as Falcons is doing now what Speedway did before, they're bringing the fight onto the point. So we have that overtime right up, and it's really up to anybody here, kind of using those ultimates like very well to like the best of the ability here, because any eliminations here kind of win here. So that's two for Speedway. That's two for Speedway. That could be kind of the fight right here. We'll see.
Oh, it is gonna come down to the wire here, but it looks like
It is
Speedway with the numbers is gonna win out game number one. But of
well. That's
course,
round one.
I know in control, it is a best of
Yes.
three, part of the best of five. So you've got to win a best of three before you can win game number one.
Imagine having to go against these two great teams back to back to back like this. I mean, I don't know. I don't know, David.
Oh, I mean, they put on a show in this first battle. That is for sure, Andres. These two
And I
teams kept it so close all the way to the wire. It came down to overtime,
mhm.
both at that 99% mark.
And just like you said like before I think they kind of have played their last time they met, they came to a really close game three. So seeing this best of five here, maybe we might go to this last game here because it's going to overtime. So we'll see how this next round comes up. And it's really cool about this map as well as how different all three of these maps are. And that's what I really love about also this control type of map is that there's three different ways you can play. They're very different. In here, it's going to be a little bit more close quarters. You're gonna see it's gonna be just a little bit of like a dome. There's gonna be two different ways to get in. It's gonna be another way to get in. You're gonna see that as well. Here we have already the two teams going back and forth, and here we have kind of the Falcons defaulting, going straight to the point, and that's a pretty good really thing to do right away in the beginning to take that control of the point to kind of force Speedway back into that choke point. And here we have Psylocke just popping up that right away. But we have the Invisible Woman old kind of denying that. And David, these Invisible Women have been really great on both of the teams here so far.
They certainly have. I mean, doing everything that they need to do to lead their team, both offensively and defensively there. And we saw exactly that right there.
Yep, and I noticed that they actually the Falcons switched off of the Angela and they have the Emma going down. That's right. Everybody loves to see some Emma. She's just an absolute tank, just doing so much damage. A really hard tank to play against right now because she just has a lot of value in all of her utility. And here we have Speedway pushing back the Falcons back to their spawn point here. Wow, very very strong just strong showing so far here from Speedway.
A strong opening indeed, but it's Speedway that, I mean, we saw it in the last one. Falcons were the ones that had control in the early game before ultimately giving up control, and it seemed like that Speedway never looked back. So Speedway's going to have to make sure that this time, that despite being the first ones in control, that they go ahead and close this one out before Falcons can gain any footing. And with a couple of picks there, going 3 down, actually a bit of a stagger now, Andres. Speedway is in
Uh-oh.
complete control.
Uh-oh. And look at that percentage going up on that top right side. Just 60% on Speedway, and they have the Falcons kind of sitting back a little bit. Not a little bit, kind of a lot of bit here on their spawn. The Falcons do have 3 ultimates here to kind of use, but Speedway do have 3 to answer back, and either coming up to the Hulk. So it's looking a little bit, looking really nice here on Speedway's side to kind of take this next round, maybe this next game.
Oh, but look at all of the ultimates slowly becoming ready on the side of the Falcons. Already going to get a chance to use them all. Here comes the onslaught now. This is going to be now or never for the Falcons to try to turn this game
Now or
around
never.
and get back into control. But that's going to be one member going down on the side of the Falcons. They're going to get back in quick, but no, it's Jeff going down alongside them. It looks like Speedway is poised to take this game, take control of this
And
set.
wow, not even a touch right there, David.
Not even a touch. Wow.
That is game 1 going to our good friends on Speedway, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Yes, indeed. They did everything that they needed to in that second game. It was a slow game 1 of control, but game 2 executed to perfection. So now we see Just Demonic gonna be the MVP for Speedway in control. Game 1 of this set going Speedway's way.
Wow, and
And
I was
now we're
gonna
gonna look at the next
say,
one.
just that Hulk, just doing so much for Speedway, getting eliminations, just living, and that's what he was doing, just kind of sitting there. Anytime he was about to go, he had the ultimate ready, just ready. He had it ready. He was doing absolutely fantastic every time he was ready to go in. Every time they needed Hulk to be there when he needed to be there, he was right there. I'm talking that is some superb tank knowledge because he definitely knows how to play Hulk, and that is we are definitely seeing that he's living when he needs to be. He is creating that space. We definitely saw it with that ultimate. He was kind of like 1v6ing the entire team there for just like half a second, throwing everybody to the side, just kind of making all that space and just getting that enough time for the whole team to make it to the point, and they actually took back that point. So it was just of course, MVP. So just congrats on that play there on Speedway. Some great tank gameplay. Magneto, of course, you cannot. He's sort of like the silent MVP here, and Magneto just such a fantastic support, throwing out those bubbles, making sure nobody is taking any damage, making sure he's doing that damage as well, and just kind of throwing those shields out when they need to be there.
Yeah, a beautiful job there from Speedway. Game number 1 is theirs as we look towards the rest of this set. We actually had to check in with our competition operations team, because up to this point these teams have been playing a best of three. So
Oh.
best of five, they have to kind of they have to double
Mhm.
check what the order flow would be for the various modes. um so it looks like that we're supposed to be going to convoy for game number two. So
Fun.
we'll go ahead and make sure that that is in fact the case. These teams will get this set up, and we'll get going.
All right, and great. So convoy, that is a fun type of map that is kind of like where the players, the attacking players, they have to be around this moving point. It's sort of like a car. It could be anything. Sometimes it could be a robot or something, but it moves, and they have to get it to one side, I guess, to the end of the map. So they kind of have to escort this moving convoy, and while the defenders, they kind of have to stop the attackers from doing that by, of course, eliminating them and kind of almost taking control of the convoy, making sure they don't touch it again. And that is a very fun dynamic when it comes here on Rivals, because it's going to be a lot of those big fights uh, on the point. It's going to be a lot of those flanks that we saw some Psylocke play. We saw some really fun Bucky play. So we're going to see a lot of people being on the high ground, a lot of people coming around. It's going to be really just that convoy really kind of has that different dynamic, which is really really fun to see coming from these players. David, you are muted.
There we
Cannot hear
go.
you.
My
There we
apologies.
go.
But Convoy being on deck on dress, why don't you break it down for us? What can we expect from Convoy?
So we're gonna expect the attacking team to be, of course, very aggressive. We can go down to the last point. Each point gets progressively harder. While the last point, it's going to be a little bit of defenders have a little bit of an advantage with the spawn point being very, very close. So if attackers do make it to that ending point, that third point, usually Convoy has that first point, second point, and third point. And in that third point, of course, the defenders have a little bit of advantage. So we're going to see a little bit of that back and forth, all that tussling, people respawning really close, really fast. So it's going to be attackers are going to need to have almost a team wipe, I'd say, to really kind of have that point control. Especially right at the end. And then we're going to see a lot of changes, I think, David, because it's going to be, again, that dynamic that I mentioned earlier. It's going to be just different. So, I mean, there's nothing wrong with seeing the same characters also as well, because they were playing very good meta characters, very fantastic characters that work well. I especially seeing the Hulk already is going, just having that mobility. We want to see mobility. You know what I mean?
Yes, I mean, especially with just games like this in general, mobility and positioning are the keys to victory. No matter what, no matter what mode, what characters, it's two of the things that you always need to keep in mind. So,
Oh my God, David.
taking a look though, Andres,
That
I saw a
Captain
little bit of a
America.
reaction there. What's drawing your attention coming into this one?
Captain America on both sides. I'm a Captain America main personally. And he's so fun to play. He's a character you're gonna see jumping and flying and jumping everywhere. He's so annoying. He's gonna get into the back line. He's gonna punch you. He's gonna run. He's gonna be. I just Captain America is such a fun character to play to see. So sorry, it's not very meta. Oh my god, we're already missing one Captain America. So, but we do have one in play. So I would say keep an eye on him. He's gonna be a very hopefully we can have a cap going. So yeah, that's what definitely caught my eye here. Super fun character.
All right, this match is set to begin. The defenders are in place and the convoy is on the move as our friend Captain America looking to try to possibly take out a flank here from the Hulk. So they're going to be able to pinch here and
Nice.
find a 3v2 situation, able to eliminate one. Hulk, though, very tanky, going to be able to get back to their teammates for a little bit of protection, but Captain America is still rushing in.
Yeah, Cap being able to take out that what was it? Oh man, I didn't even know who it was. It was like Bucky or something up there, but that didn't really matter. It looks like the Falcons kind of really took it back a little bit. And here, taking a look at let's take a look at the compositions here. The Falcons here opting out, opting to get Hulk, Magneto, of course, sort of like the same ish comp they've been playing. I think it's the Falcons, yes. Or if I'm not mistaken, I think they're just kind of copying that Speedway one from last time. Anyway, so Speedway kind of going into that Psylocke, the Moon Knight, which is a lot of damage, a lot of damage. He kind of throws the unks on the floor, the onks. Not unks, I'm not an unk anyway. Uh, Magneto. Here we see the switches here. It looks like Cap definitely isn't working out for them. So we have as I mentioned, a lot of these switches. Venom coming out, high mobility. People are calling it almost like a better Cap. He is kind of just more mobility and just more damage as well. And Rocket, also very good. Moon Knight popping that ult right away, trying to get some damage out and kind of pushing the Falcons back a little bit.
Oh, and the
Speedway
Hulk
back a
now
little
gonna
bit.
be popping that ultimate, able to just dive on in, but Hulk gonna go down, has to back out of this one. And the convoy once again on the move. It seemed like the Falcons had stalled there for a little bit, but now Andres, we have 4 specials ready on either side. This should be a pretty spectacular next team fight.
Oh yeah, and any second now it's looking like these players are about to pop some ultimates here, and the Falcons here are looking to have 5, almost 6 here with the Moon Knight coming up at 70 something percent and Speedway as well. At any second, here's Psylocke being the first of all of these characters to pop the ultimate and getting rid of Bucky right away, kind of getting rid of that threat immediately. But here we still have the Falcons getting aggressive, putting that pressure that just, oh my god. And we have Magneto kind of popping that all, getting really low as well. Oh, I think that was almost parried and grabbed by the other Magneto. That was wild. That was this is just superb play here on every end. Here we have all those ultimates popping here over and over and over. Here Magneto grabbing another one, and he looks like Speedway here taking control and kind of stopping this cart from continuing getting any more progress.
And things starting to just slow down a little bit now, as Speedway has done a pretty excellent job up to this point defending, making sure that the Falcons convoy
Mm-hmm.
is not able to make much progress, because we're down to just over 30 seconds left before we need to hit that first checkpoint, Andres.
That's right. And Speedway, what they need to do right now is kind of get they're defending a Falcons, they need to touch the point. That's what they need to do. But here we have Speedway go sort of getting close, getting a little bit what it looks like a little bit aggressive as well, but they're losing Hulk right away. So here it looks like Falcons, they do have that chance, but they do have those 10 seconds. They only have 10 seconds to touch the point and hopefully force that overtime to even make that first point, because there is still 2 more whole points here in the entirety of this map, actually. And here we have the time going down to 0 and the overtime popping off immediately. Here we have all of these ultimates popping again, and Speedway definitely does not want Falcons to win here. But here we have Moon Knight getting a kill, 2 kills, Magneto and Star-Lord, 2 big characters you don't want to see. And it looks like Falcons are going to take this down to their first point. They are going to get more time here on the clock. What a fantastic comeback here on that Falcons end.
Yeah, it seemed like that they were just on the brink of bowing out of this game pretty early, but they have since revived their chances. They got a pretty critical pick there to get the numbers advantage, and the ultimates on top of that were able to push out the rest of Speedway to secure that first checkpoint, and now making much more steady progress along to the second checkpoint than what we had seen the first go around. So Falcons seeming to come back to life in this game too.
And coming back to life is, I think, a little bit of an understatement here, because they're absolutely pushing Speedway back, right back to different changes, because we have Iron Man and we also have Phoenix coming out as well. And that is some big changes here for Speedway as well, because we have the flying characters who have a lot of pressure here from the top. From the top here, and the Falcons don't really have a lot to deal with that. So that could also force another change onto the Falcons to possibly a Punisher or maybe a Hela to really take out something like the Iron Man. But the Iron Man, he has to get a lot of value here in order for those changes to even come out. Because if he's not getting enough value, then it doesn't really matter, right? So here we have a kind of the Speedway pushing them back, and it looks like value is definitely the correct word because Iron Man almost has his ult already. That's a pretty fast ult there, David.
Yeah, it certainly seemed like it. And they should be ready to pop it here just any moment now, waiting for the time to be just right. They do have the numbers advantage, though, so they might just try to play this a little bit more conservative because they know that they could just, 1v1 these players pretty much individually. They're going to try to wait for the Falcons to make the first move, and it looks like the Falcons are going to be the first ones to respond
Oof.
here. They're going to pop 2 ultimates here, and now it's going to force Speedway to back up just a little bit. They're going to be forced back into this tunnel here, and it looks like that, oh, despite all of that, Falcons are going to lose a member along the way. So, with just over 15 seconds left to reach the second checkpoint, Falcons are going to need another come back to life Phoenix moment to be able to keep this game going.
Yep, and that is 3 ultimates there, and they still lost a person. I can't tell you a worse trade. I've never heard of a worse trade before ever, David, because I definitely want to see. I want to eliminate people when I'm throwing out 3 ultimates, but it looks like here the Speedway is just that big Titan here on the point out. But that's Psylocke just grabbing 3 players. That's giving Falcons that edge, and that's right in overtime. But Speedway is not backing down. Magneto and Hulk just saying, no, no, I do not care. 3 ults, I am right here anyway. I am not letting you get any further. I have no words. There's so many things are happening back and forth here. We have Magneto right here left, and Magneto and Hulk are the only 2 people left. Doctor Strange, you need to get rid of Strange. We have everybody back. Falcons, they're almost everybody's back here on the Falcons side, just as well as Speedway. It's looking, it's going to be a tussle again back and forth, but we do have 2 ults. Magneto popping the first one. Does he get anybody? He does grab Rocket, and that's a healer right off of this fight for the Falcons. The Falcons are down 1. They're down 2. This could be really bad for the Falcons here. Speedway could just take it over, and that's 2 more kills. They only need to get 2 more. This overtime is looking like it's going pretty low. Oh, this is not looking good for the Falcons.
Speedway gets the stop. So it's going to be 1 checkpoint, 111 meters total is the checkpoint to meet for Speedway if they want to take a commanding 2-0 lead in this game. So we're going to go ahead and make some hero adjustments now. And Andres, why don't you give us a little bit of insight? What are the things that teams are going to be keeping in mind as they pivot from offense to defense and vice versa?
So what all these players have to keep in mind now is exactly the score, right? They have now there's only 1 point. They don't even have to get to the end of the second point, which means they don't have to get through that big choke, the big choke we were seeing. They don't even have to get past that. So it's actually like so these what I think the Speedway needs to do, who is attacking here, they need to get a little aggressive here. And as we are seeing right away, we have Spider-Man. If we can see the pics, if we can get as much progress as possible, as much free progress as they can possibly get, and then they can ultimately get probably like 1 team wipe with like 5 to 6 ults, that is just what's gonna work out for them. While Falcons here, they have to worry a lot. I'd be pretty stressed out here because that's just only 1 point. However, you can do this. Everybody, I have done this before. I'm pretty sure the Falcons have done this before because at this point, if you have a good hold, you have any good staggers, you start a good snowball, the momentum shifts and changes. And then all of a sudden, then you have 2 minutes down the clock, 1 minute, and then 30 seconds left. We already have Magic and Venom starting off the fight with Speedway, but Speedway taking out Magic right away. So it looks like they're not finding any value here on this Magic and Venom here so far. Venom just kind of being bullied a little bit here, taking it back, and Speedway just getting a lot of progress here. Falcons, I think they definitely do have to do something. And I'm not sure what it is right now because Speedway is just finding every way, shape, or form to push them back. And then we are seeing that. currently.
All right. Well, I mean, a beautiful analysis there, Andres.
Mhm. Yeah.
Thank you. As you know, this convoy now is pretty swiftly on the move for Speedway. They have
Mhm.
already reached the point that I believe that overtime more or less kind of settled that for the first checkpoint for the Falcons. But they're doing a great job of now slowly pushing back the convoy. But take a look at all of the ultimates at the top of your
Yeah.
screen there.
Oh
It
yeah.
looks like Speedway is ready to make a big play, but the
There's that
Falcons
first
aren't
one.
far behind, and here comes the onslaught.
And that's right. There's that invisible woman all going a little bit early here on Speedway, actually. So it's actually not so great here for Speedway, I'd say. So Falcons, we've seen them kind of like they stopped the Speedway here at a pretty good spot, I'd actually say. And that invisible woman all going out pretty early like that, I think is kind of what stopped the Speedway to getting that first that push there. So it looks like Falcons are genuinely, I think, sitting really, really, really pretty here. Especially three ultimates as well as Speedway. It looks like Speedway they do they have to get really aggressive here and start right away. It looks like Bucky with that ultimate right away cannot quite find anything, but he actually will die to Magneto's ult. That's two down for Speedway. That's just Falcons just being so great at that defense. Speedway does have to reset here completely, and we were just saying, oh my god, Speedway, they're they're really gonna do it. And I think as we said that, the Falcons gave him a complete stop. This is completely doable here with 1 minute and a half left here on the clock.
Yeah, I mean, that clock ticks away, so much quicker, especially when you're in a bit of a disadvantageous position. So now Speedway feeling the pressure when the Falcons were the ones coming into this game with, hey, that's going to be a tough mark to try to stop this team, especially with how aggressive Speedway had been prior to this particular game. And now Speedway is the one that needs to come up with an answer, and they do. That is three down on the side of the Falcons. And Andres, I think that this convoy is going to meet the first checkpoint.
Oh yeah, that I mean it's looking like it so far, but that spawn point is pretty close, and that Venom can get pretty stally. But we're getting really, really close here. You're looking to see at the top left corner here, getting really, really close. But we already have the Falcons already stopping the Invisible Woman going out right away. We're gonna have a lot of these ults going here all the time. Here we have the Phoenix ult popping off immediately, not grabbing anyone, but that's okay. The Invisible Woman ult coming off from the Falcons ult going after, so the Falcons have a little bit of a disadvantage here. We have to keep a look at it on the kill feed, and that is Moon Knight going away quickly immediately, and that is really bad for the Falcons, being down one, being down two. But we have Magneto picking up another ult here on Speedway. It is a 5 versus 4. It's going to be coming down to the ultimates here. We have Magic popping her ultimate. It is coming down to these ultimates here, and that's it right there. 3 kills. Falcons, it's looking like they're gonna stop it. The miracle hold. No way.
Oh my goodness. They
Doctor
needed a
Strange portal.
miracle and they might just find it, but the Doctor Strange able to get the team back into the fight really quickly here. Is this going to be a response? Is this game going to be able to continue on? Overtime slowly dwindling away. Falcons praying that overtime goes much faster, and it looks like it will.
Oh,
What a comeback there by the Falcons.
what
They
a hold.
pull it off.
What a hold. What a hold. I was saying earlier, Dale, I was like, is this an easy one? They just got to get a little aggressive. It's not too far. They don't even got to make it to the second one. And Falcons just, they just, they just held him so. I have no words, David. That was a fantastic hold. I definitely didn't see that coming. I think the second we saw that 1 minute and 30, it was looking really, really, really scary, and it became that reality.
I, I, I'm just gonna pivot us back over to the commentator cameras, because like my jaw's been a little bit stuck.
Absolute cinema.
I I don't know. There's no words. I can't believe that they pulled that off. It looked like that, the Falcons came out really strong there, and they were doing a really good job. But the moment that they had gone three down, it seemed like Speedway was going to run away with it. The Falcons, they were hanging on by a single fingernail, it felt like. And the ultimates that came out at the very end, it really hinged on just that last ultimate being able to sweep through, claim 3 of Speedway's members to completely flip the game's momentum back in their favor and put it out of reach. It was a Hail Mary. They nailed the catch, they scored the touchdown, and they have put themselves right back into this game following game number 2. It's a tied
Oh
set.
yeah. Oh yeah, it's a tight set already. I mean, this is so wild. That magical that came out right at the end. Dark Child coming out and just sweeping up 3 right off the bat. I was like ready to say, well, here we go. They're about to cap and they got it. They were down 1. It was a 4v5 situation. They were not supposed to win. I'm just gonna being honest. It just on the
It
paper.
seemed like they weren't. It really
Yeah.
that's a situation that you, especially if you're a sports person and you follow the likes of ESPN and whatnot, and you see that they will put out probability graphs of how likely it is for a team to win. Let's this was like going into the ninth inning and the Dodgers are at like a 97% win rate, and suddenly you get a 7-run rally that flips the game back. It's just one of those things that it's not supposed to happen when you look at the metrics and what was happening on paper. But of course, it's never over until it's over, and it takes so much guts to be able to pull off the moves that we just saw to flip that game back and secure it for your team.
Yep, and we even saw that last minute Hail Mary Doctor Strange portal. We saw one of the tanks switch over to Doctor Strange just to get everybody there. Really, at the end, we even saw the Jeff ult coming out, but it just really just wasn't quite enough. As we saw a Speedway really just trying their best to really get. It was so chaotic. In a just a it was frantic, but it at the end of the day it was something that you definitely don't see. So that's like again, just such a treat to see. So just 2 great teams kind of duking it out here. I mean, I'm just excited to see more at this point.
If the stage hadn't already been set now, I mean, we are in for an absolute delight. I think this is a 4-course meal. I'm sorry, a 5-course meal, I should say. We're getting at least 4 courses. We know that much.
Yeah.
With the set being tied 1-1 in this best of 5. But I do think that we might get a little extra dessert on dress. I think we've been good all year. Santa's gonna bring some extra gifts. We're gonna get that extra slice of cake.
You know what? This background here, I'm merry today, and Santa's delivered me at least a 4 game a set today. I honestly I'd be spoiled if I got a game 5, baby. I'd be absolutely spoiled here, honestly. But do we know what map we're going to next? Like what type of
It
map?
looks like it will be loser's choice. So
All right.
that is what I am seeing right now. So it should be Speedway getting to pick the next mode.
Okay.
If again, I am assuming that I am reading this correctly. This is coming directly from our competition operations team. So
Mhm.
it should be the loser's choice. And then from there, game 4 would go back to domination. So
Domination.
a little bit of a interesting sort of counter picking rules here, where
Mhm.
you're only getting an opportunity to counter pick at game 3, and then if we do get a game 5, whoever loses that game 4 is also going to get a counter pick opportunity.
Okay, all right. So that's interesting, but I think maybe that might be a way to try to get every type of map going because the maps that we have seen today are domination, which are a kind of that king of the hill type of map that we saw, which kind of has the 3 different variants of maps in which players do have to be uh they have to win 2 out of the 3 maps in order to win, and they have to kind of get fight for the control of that single point to get to 100% to win to get to that round. And then we saw the convoy map, which of course we see attackers, they have to move that convoy from one place to the next one through three different points, and the defenders, they do have to stop them. And then, of course, they do have to switch sides after that. And then we haven't seen that last one yet, which, if I'm not mistaken, it kind of has a mix of both of them. That's right. So it starts out with our attackers sort of going to this kind of king of the hill type of map, and defenders do have to stop them from capturing a point. And then that point, once it is captured, turns into a convoy. Oh my god, that's right. The point turns moving. And yeah. So of course it moves into a convoy, which then to leads to two more points. So of course we have a little bit of a mix on two ends, which we'll see the dynamic change, and we'll see of course more changes as we have been seeing them been made.
Well, it looks like that we are having some minor technical issues on one of the players' side. So we're getting them back into the lobby as quickly as possible to resume this thrilling 5 game set. If you're just joining us, this is the USAEL Open Fall 2025 finals for Marvel Rivals. We've got Speedway taking on the Frisco Falcons. Looks like that our players are getting back into the lobby. So, in theory, we should be getting right back into it pretty soon. It has been a thrilling first couple of matches. Domination being won out by Speedway after what was a thrilling game number 1 into a relatively dominant game 2. And then pivoting over to the second game of the match on Convoy, it seemed like
Mhm.
that the Falcons were down and were not quite in the position to take this game, suddenly turning the tide in just a beautiful magic ultimate that completely flipped the game back in their favor. But game number 3 now on deck. We are going to jump into this one. It is domination, and this should be good if it's any indication from what we saw these
Yeah,
last couple of games.
and I love this. Right back in, even with some technical difficulties. Honestly, some technical difficulties. We can have a little bit of a very long wait, but we are right back in with some domination. As we were talking about, domination doesn't have a defender or an attacker. It's just kind of that 1 point, best of three. And they we do have a different map types. You could also see some big changes depending on the map types. Some maps have very big changes on the map types, while some don't really change that much. Um, but this one is a fun one. We can see this. This is actually we can see a little bit of close quarters right at the beginning, which two of the teams are going to meet each other immediately. It's kind of side to side, and then they're going to get to the point that's a little bit towards the back. And we already have very interesting tank
I
on
would
Speedway. It looks like they
I was about to say, I feel like this is actually a pretty
okay,
drastic adjustment
they went right back.
here. So I I am intrigued.
Yeah, it looks like they were just messing with us, David, because they
Okay.
went right back to their main setup.
Yeah, that seems to make a lot more sense. But Marvel Rival shenanigans aside, I was like, huh.
Yeah, it's definitely weird, but of course we are back to this kind of this match that's been going this pretty back and forth match. But of course, Moon Knight going down immediately for Speedway, not looking good. That's a little bit of their damage, but of course, Psylocke going down for the Falcons. That's both of their damage. So here, it's going to be down to these healers keeping the tanks up as much as possible, so the tanks can get some damage in. And that is Phoenix going down for Speedway. That's all their damage here for Speedway. Unless Moon Knight makes it back pretty quickly, then it's looking kind of grim a little bit here on Speedway's end with Magneto going down. It looks like it might be a little bit of a reset here for Speedway, and Falcons taking that point. What it looks like could be, yeah, maybe Falcons taking that. Yes, taking that and getting that early percentage. And as we were talking about earlier in that first game that we saw, any time that they can get, as long as they can get that point to drag out, the points as much as possible, as much percentage they can get, the better, right? They just need to get to 100, even to 99, so they can drag out to a little bit of overtime maybe. But the more the better.
Well, this is exactly how game one of match number one went between these two. It was the Falcons that got early control and seemed to have a firm grasp of the control point. But Speedway came back late on the, I believe that at least first control kind of kicked in about a little over 50% of the way through. And here it comes, seems that Falcons ready to start to get a little bit more aggressive,
Hmm.
but do they have the resources to make it happen? It doesn't seem like it's so far, but they're going to try to make a push here regardless.
That's right. And here we have all these players kind of popping up their ults here with Jeff popping up theirs, but kind of getting punished for it. As Magneto threw out his ultimate to kind of get rid of him. So that's a pretty interesting way of seeing things here so far. But you have Speedway kind of getting an advantage here in the numbers with getting rid of Venom right away here. And Moon Knight also picking up another kill on Falcons as Moon Knight. Popping that out as well. Falcons do have two ultimate here to work with when they come back from that. But right now, that percentage is going on Speedway's side, and they are ready with a Phoenix ult and what looks like a Gambit ult as well. And Gambit being one of the newer supports, he's actually really, really, really good at kind of providing a lot of damage and a lot of healing. It's just like an absolute fantastic way of kind of but you need to kind of get a little bit of that, get into that middle ground because you can be, if you do too much damage, you're not doing enough healing. And if you're doing a lot of healing, you're not doing enough damage because he does have that kill potential to get rid of tanks, to get rid of being anybody being behind. And that is a crazy kill here on Moon Knight, from Moon Knight on Jeff, actually. And if he gets a kill here on his Moon Knight, it might be huge. And that is big
Oh,
on Speedways, and Falcons are being thrown back a little bit. But it looks like they might have 5 ults coming up. Pretty strong here so far on both ends, actually.
this should be once again fireworks within this next team fight. But the question now stands, does Speedway get control of the lead here, or do the Falcons have a response? It looks like that this lead is going to end up being conceded for now, but of course, this game isn't determined by who has the lead the longest or anything like that. It's who is able to get up to 100% the first. But Falcons now having to feel a little bit of that pressure. They've seen
Mhm.
this exact scenario play out before and it didn't work out in their favor. So, do they have what it takes to flip this one back? They are going to see two members go down, a possible third. There goes the third. So, this looks like Speedway might be able to win this one out. They have to win this last fight, and I think they might just do that on Dress if they could survive overtime.
And that's right. And it's looking like little bit of a panic ult there onto the Falcons' side, and Speedway kind of getting complete control with not even using that many ults. Look at that. It just kind of grabbing that first point. Looking like a little bit of a repeat from that first game. History, I guess repeats itself pretty well.
Yeah, it really did repeat itself there. Now the question is, will history repeat itself as we get ready for game number two? If you saw the first time these teams played domination, you know that the first game went exactly like we saw there, although with maybe a little bit more fireworks at the end, Speedway finding a comfortable finish this time around. But this game two from that first match, we saw Speedway dominate from start to finish, the Falcons hoping to change that narrative.
That's right. And I was gonna say, if I was Falcons, I don't want history to definitely repeat itself. But Falcons here, we do have that Magic ult and the Magneto ult here at half. Kind of a lot of these players getting. Oh, it's because they have to change a little bit here, so that's why those ults have been cut down a little bit. With Speedway kind of having that Phoenix ult and the Moon Knight ult ready and up and just kind of up and going, ready to go. But Moon Knight is pretty close on his, and that's a pretty big ult to kind of, change the tides pretty quickly. And here we have Venom getting in there really, really, really fast, but with that team support, he does get out very well. He can be in there and kind of be a little bit of a menace. Moon Knight throwing at us a little bit early, and that's gonna be completely okay. It's gonna be okay. He can charge that ult very, very, very fast. Of course, Magneto grabbing that fantastic on Moon Knight, but of course, Falcons being up and already picking up that point. and that's just looking good here on Falcons. If I'm Falcons, I'm pretty happy for sure.
Yes, as the Falcons do make sure that history doesn't strictly repeat itself. Dominant opening here in the second game of domination. And they are holding a nice position right now. They have more specials to work with. So they're going to be able to put together a solid defense. And Jeff now making a move, I think managed to actually
Oh,
grab quite a few people there and tosses two of them over the edge. So a beautiful play by Jeff to make sure that the Falcons hold the numbers control, but Jeff's going to go down themselves. Speedway gained their players back in pretty quickly, but not before losing another one of their own.
and this Magneto just absolutely laying it down with that new team up. I think it's with Gambit where he can throw his like mail in and does so much damage. It's like so much fun to play. As you know, as a Cap player who can sometimes get into that Magneto jail. Definitely, that team up is fun to have. Here we have that Hulk ult coming out. He got really close to death, but of course he can be super mobile, going back and forth, getting all that damage and just kind of trying to get back up here to the top floor, being a little bit of a menace. They just want their point. They need some percentage on the board. They just don't have that right now. Falcons just kind of getting away with it this time, looking like not a repeat of last time. They are stopping Speedway completely on their tracks here, getting to that 90% and just getting those eliminations back and forth. It's not looking good for Speedway. Looking pretty grim.
Yeah, and it looks like Speedway sees the writing on the wall of this one. Overtime is not even going to kick in as the Falcons roar back, able to take the second game, and we are headed to a decisive game three of domination. This is for control of the set, the crucial second point needed in this best of five. And I mean, Andres, we knew coming into this one that these two teams were close. The last time these two teams played, Speedway winning 2-1 in their matchup in the regular season. And so far, these two continue to deliver, taking us to the to the maximum number of games however possible. Even in domination,
Yeah.
we're seeing a game three. So you really can't write a better matchup than what these two teams have delivered so far.
Yeah, no, I would say this is a fantastic show of just great Marvel Rivals play here on both ends. I have no complaints. If the only complaint I have is that I don't have popcorn, and
We'll have
but
to make sure that popcorn's included in the next production, because I agree that these two teams have been putting on an absolute show, and the fireworks are quick to kick off once again
yep.
in this third game of domination. Mission area not even unlocked yet, but these two teams want to make sure that they are the first ones on the point.
That's right. And Falcons being kind of that dominant team here so far, they already grabbed the point, and of course they do want to grab some fights here. Even because they just grabbed the point, they want to make sure they have a lot of percentage to kind of build that up as much as possible. And Speedway is looking a little bit rough here so far. Honestly, I feel like a little bit of a reset would work here. A great one because they do have three ultimates coming up on four. That's four coming up on five. Even all six of their ults, and that could definitely kind of change the tides here for them with no problem. So they do have a lot to work with. But as I do say that the Falcons are coming up on their ults with Moon Knight popping up theirs, and they can be as aggressive as they want to with that. With the point being grabbed like that, they can really do pretty much whatever they want with their ult here, as long as they're not obviously throwing them out all the time. But here we go, all these ultimates going out as much as possible. Even Jeff got taken out, unfortunately, but Speedway down one, down two, Namor going out, and just Magneto going out as well. This is looking again like it's Falcons' game to take.
It certainly is at this point. The Falcons continue their domination as they have just found their footing. Something sparked following that insane convoy finish. And even though they let up game number one of domination, they have found just new team synergy as they keep complete control of this third domination game, looking for the series lead. And if they can find a couple picks here, Andres, late, they might just be able to put this one away without any contention
Oh,
of the control point.
and that is Human Torch going down, but of course Rocket having that res available. And here we have that difference here that Lunas know is on the Falcons' side with having that defensive ult, having two defensive ults actually, but Rocket on the other side having that offensive ult rather than defensive. So that's where I think we see a little bit of kind of a like an advantage here on Falcons' side, and that is on Falcons using that strange ult to stop them from touching the point. That's five head, big brain, as the kids say.
And the
Right?
Falcons gain control of the series. They are up 2-1 in this best of five. And
Oh.
Jeff. Jeff,
Oh. Oh, look at
who could
him.
ever hate a Jeff?
Oh my god, a
Actually the
lovely
best
little
character in
shark.
this game.
He's so cute. Look at him. Just staring back at you like, yeah, I did that. I won.
You may be sucked into the vortex and spit off the map, but I'm gonna do it with a smile, and you're gonna be like, darn, like, oh man,
Ah!
it was just so cute along the way, and can't be too mad at it.
And just like that MVP just says a lot. Jeff was doing a lot of healing, a lot of damage. Those ults were just making plays, getting double kills, getting multiple kills, getting even even if that one kill that Jeff got, that was actually probably like a healer or a tank. That was like some. It's just very important. Like it's just very these important kills that Jeff was getting. So of course, MVP again says a lot. To congrats again to that Jeff, like just fantastic. Just show him how to play
Yeah,
because just great stuff overall.
I mean, well, let me actually pivot back here to the scoreboard so we could talk a
Hmm.
little bit more about that directly. I look at the accuracy out of our Jeff MVP from the side of the Falcons. They're 78%.
Wow.
Just phenomenal job there. And I mean, being able to sweep through and actually still, top their team, or tie for the top there in the KA department. That's You don't really
Mhm.
see a whole lot of that out of Jeff.
No, 12K is an impressive feat for sure. You never really see 12K from Jeff, so that's why it's definitely very interesting to see. But he was getting eliminations. He was just kind of doing it, and what an interesting composition overall, having those three healers. And even with three healers, Jeff all probably know an incredible amount of healing with 24,000, and of course with 12,000 damage. Just that's just overall. You gotta say that's nine final hits.
Yeah, that's why I wanted to pivot back because those are just not numbers that you would typically see out of a Jeff player. So it's just really interesting to see that you get the aggro support, especially both teams running three healers, really. So three support characters. I think when you kind of build this type of composition, you can actually allow for someone like this Jeff player to sort of take a little bit more of the front lines. Yes, they're going to be directly healing still, but they're not going to be putting up traditional numbers. Let them take some shots and try to lead the offense. So I think they did exactly that. A wonderful job there. But with all of that said, we're going to go ahead and get ready for game number 4. So from what we could tell right now, we are supposed to go back to domination.
Mhm.
So we'll go ahead and wait to confirm that is the case. But if we do go back to domination now, Andres, I mean, we've seen both sides win domination. So I'm curious to see what sort of adjustments either side is going to be making because the Speedway started out so well in domination, but now the Falcons have taken complete control. and it's up to Speedway to figure out what their response is. You know, what do you have to be thinking if you're Speedway going into this next one?
Oh man, if you're Speedway going into this next one, I would say you want to be thinking about what did you do that first game, right? What could we go back to? Maybe that same composition, maybe that same mentality, maybe that same strat. I would say I would want to go back to that point in time. Maybe not even that. Maybe from everything that we've learned so far, we want to play a little bit of a different comp, or here we see some of these interesting characters coming out right away for sure. With the Daredevil being a very interesting character being played as well. But of course, Speedway just you got to be a little bit nervous at this point in time. I know that that first game was extremely dominating, but being down one at kind of championship life here, it's gonna be a little bit difficult. A little bit stressful for sure.
Well, the Falcons on the cusp of a
Right.
USAEL Open Championship. Speedway trying to keep this what we used as the omakase analogy earlier. You know, we want that extra course. We want to see as a spectator, you know, to go the entire distance. Give us a little extra dessert. That Speedway certainly wants to make sure that we get there. So let's go ahead and dive on in. Andres, mission area should be opening up here in the next 10 seconds.
That's right, and we have Venom getting right to the back immediately to kind of bully this invisible woman, which is as he should be doing. And of course, we have our team peeling for that invisible woman, looking pretty good so far. Venom going right back to his team, and it's looking like a little bit of Speedway kind of has that control so far. But that's what we've been seeing from them. This is no surprise from them having kind of that control right away. But we'll see kind of how it gets to it with Gambit here kind of being in the middle, making sure that Angela is right up and going. But Falcons are answering with a lot of their own eliminations. So it's kind of going a little bit back and forth. I think like each team is down one or two players here, with Angela being a little bit aggressive. They want to move someone back, and that is Angela going down right away. They couldn't really get any value from that, but here we have Bucky coming right back. Hopefully we can get some damage on there, and that is not quite it. With a tank down, you definitely two tanks down, you definitely do not have any space. You do want to go back and maybe have a little bit of that reset at the moment.
Falcons in control now. They have the numbers advantage. They have the ultimate advantage, at least for now. But Speedway quickly building up their ultimates as well. They should be ready to go alongside whatever the Falcons have to boot. And it's going to be a matter of who makes the first move. Falcons playing this very patiently, and they're going to try to wait for Speedway to make the first move. And now here it comes. It is an avalanche of ultimates from both sides clashing in the middle, and it's going to be one down on the side of the Falcons. As a result, it's going
That's
to be
three of the
Jeff
Jeffel.
able to pick up three. Absolute insanity as they
Huge.
throw him off the map and gets the clean triple.
And I'm not gonna lie, David, that's putting Falcons sitting really good at 50%. Probably gonna pick up a 60. Emma getting really hard staggered at the very moment right now. Maybe she can't even make it out if possible. Oh no, she's looking pretty good. But again, that triple kill just giving Falcons a lot of that room and a lot of that a lot of time, a lot of percentage here that Speedway just cannot be giving them right now. They just can't be giving all this time. Here we have 70% on the Falcon side, 30% on Speedway, and that's it's just the Speedway needs an answer now or never.
And Speedway somehow puts together an answer there. They
That's
actually
right.
gain control. And despite the numbers disadvantage, what it seemed like, Andres, it's Speedway that now is adding points to the board and
Mm-hmm.
making some steady progress here. And it looks like Falcons having to retreat now. They have someone in the back line that they now have to deal with. And it looks like two members of the Falcons are going to go down. So Speedway now pushing up big time. and they are forcing the Falcons all the way back. No response, and it looks like they are ready to tie up this game and possibly take the lead here.
And that is what a fantastic response here. Speedway kind of completely, really, just really keeping together here and just kind of stabilizing and just getting all this percentage that they also shouldn't have gotten. While Falcons should have kind of not giving them that. But here we are, Jeff, unfortunately dying in the middle of the ult. That is not good for Falcons. And that Speedway really, really just trying to get back, getting that momentum that they had from earlier. And that is a lot of percentage getting down to that 100%. And that is looking like Speedway here on this looking so far.
Ooh,
Yep.
and with the cherry
Wow.
on top,
Always at the
Speedway.
last second, David.
It is. What are these two teams doing? It's just, and I say that in the nicest way possible.
Yeah.
I mean that so complimentary. It's just, I don't know how they figure out their way back in each time. Every time it seems like that the game should be put away by their opponent, they come back. They say no, call an ambulance, but not for me. And it's instantly just a flip and total control swinging back in their favor. I mean, Marvel Rivals is such a momentum based game, but it's so crazy to see how hard that pendulum swings.
Yeah, and that pendulum swings hard. All right, and it definitely goes from one end to the other very, 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 very quickly. So Speedway here having that momentum, having that one round over, meaning that Falcons would have to win two of these maps here in order to get their win. So although Speedway looking nice in this map, Speedway, even if they win here, they would still have to go one more in that tiebreaker in that game 5 we were talking about from
Yeah,
earlier.
but hey, I'll just remind you as well that this is how that last best of three domination
Yep.
went. Speedway winning game number one, but it was the Falcons that took the second and the third to take game three of the series. So Speedway starting out here with control, something that we hadn't seen from them in a couple of domination games now. Typically, it's been the Falcons that have been first to draw blood, but Speedway is the one that leads the way, as so far doing an excellent job of just trying to hold back the Falcons players.
Oh my God, Dr. Fincher is looking for that ult. He is looking for that ult, for that juicy ult. There it is. Getting about two people. Not bad. Not so bad. And that is Speedway just completely making sure that Falcons gets no traction at all whatsoever. And the more they push them back, the more percentage builds up on that top left corner. That's right. If we're looking up, we are already at halfway, that 50%. Falcons, they need to answer now, and they're not looking so good. They got a Magneto ult and a Jeff ult. Of course, the Jeff ult is looking really nice on that Jeff player's hands. We, of course, are coming up on one of their Invisible Woman's ult and the Emma ult as well. Here we have the Daredevil ult coming out right away, but only grabbing one, but Magneto kills Daredevil like that. Wow, that's a
That
great
was fast.
answer.
There was a very fast response there. I thought for sure that Daredevil was going to be able to get at least a couple, but no, it was just a one-for-one trade. So the Falcons have absolutely going to be happy to take that, but now they find themselves in a little bit of a stagger here as that control point slowly ticking away. They have one more opportunity to make a play, and it might have to come off the back of Jeff here if Jeff can find a play, but no, it's not going to be the
Jeff grab
case,
one.
as now Falcons have to move in quickly. They are one member down. This is their last stand before Speedway forces us into a game 5.
That's right. And Moon Knight absolutely just laying it down with that ultimate, saying, no, thank you. I want to win. Let's go to game 5. And it's looking pretty, really, really crazy so far with the whole team on the point. No overtime going down. It's going to be no way they couldn't touch the point. David, I think that's it. We are going to game 5.
Oh my goodness. What
You said
game.
dessert. You
What a
got it.
series. We got some extra dessert today, Andres. We got the extra dessert folks, grab that extra slice of cake, treat yourself, because we are being treated here by Speedway and the Falcons. We are going the full distance.
I was happy with the game four, and now I'm here with the game five. You said dessert, and I don't even know if there's anything past. There's maybe like a second dessert, you know?
We got appetizers, we got entree, we
They
got
comped it. It's actually
sides.
free.
Yeah, the entire meal's been comped. After this, I'm gonna have to go eat myself because
Yep.
I'm really starting to get hungry with the analogies that we're making here, and as I'm sure that these two teams are hungry for this victory.
It's just down to game five is so exciting. We have been seeing domination though a lot, so I would love to see maybe another convoy or maybe that mix that other one that we were talking about.
I
I
have a
actually
feeling
can't
that
get to the name to it.
convergence. Is that what you?
Convergence. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
I have a feeling that that's exactly where we're gonna go because having played domination 3 times now, I think that both of these teams, one, they might be a little bit sick of it because we had to play now 7 games of domination. And with Falcons being the ones to be able to choose the counter pick here, they 100% are going to be saying that no, we are done with domination. We're not going to be touching this. Convoy is something that they had won on. It had to come off the back of, what felt like a Christmas miracle. And I think that they might actually be comfortable going that direction. If maybe convergence is in play if they want to kind of, change up their palette a little bit as well. Being able to find a merge of the two. They found success in both modes, but the question is, which hill are they going to choose to die on?
Honestly, that is a tough choice. Because I don't know, I feel like I do might want to go back to Convoy. I did win that, that's kind of like I feel like
Yeah,
it's
they
kind of
they
like
they, they
something
won
I
it, but it's in spectacular
yeah.
fashion. But it was you couldn't get a closer call than that. So, do you feel comfortable going that way, or do you just change it entirely and say, "Hey, convergence. Let's just go somewhere where neither
Yeah.
team has been able to practice today."
Yeah, I think it's convergence time. I think that's honestly the smarter play. I think it's going to come down just to everybody's, you know, technical skill at the end of the day, to everybody's um down to everybody how tired everyone is, because hey, a game five set, especially playing 4 games like that, I'm tired, I'm exhausted. It's a lot of games. So of course it comes down to resilience, consistency, and just down to how well we play with our teammates, because a Marvel Rivals, it is a team game. Not one person can carry an entire team. Sorry to all the Spider-Man players out there. I know you think you can do it, but your team is helping you.
Well, taking a look, it is going to be Convoy. So
Okay,
that
no
is the
convergence.
that is the
That's
choice.
okay.
Like we said, we did feel that Convoy was in play here. We knew it was going to be between Convoy and Convergence. So it seems like that the Falcons, they felt pretty good about how they ultimately won that Convoy game, and they're willing to roll the dice on it again, despite it having to be a little bit close, a little close for comfort there. But they like the way that the momentum swang in their favor. So why not give it another go? I don't fully blame it for them. I think Andres, you and I both think that we would have leaned towards that convergence option. But convoy convergence, close enough.
Yeah, I mean, it's at the end of the day, we do still have that the convoy. You just kind of just got to get through that first point in order to unlock the convoy. But hey, I won convoy, as crazy as it was. I feel like they believe they can do it again. And you know what? I respect that. I respect that 100%, 1000%. So I'm hoping that Falcons are definitely seeing that confidence in themselves to kind of go back to convoy and really be like, hey, we won it again. Think we can do it again. I think we could definitely make it maybe to the third point. So, but I think maybe they do have a good defense. Maybe they have a great defense plan for Convoy. Maybe that's something that they have up their sleeves, and that's something that they showed us, and we were like, wow, that's great. So yeah, I would say it comes down to strategies, to that experience, and so Convoy is definitely going to be a fun one to see for sure.
Well,
Again,
the expectations are high coming into this final game. Winner take all. And I mean, Andres, we haven't even touched on what is at stake here.
what is at stake here, David? What is at stake?
Well, first of all, we have our partners at Lenovo Legion that are going ahead and helping us out with some prizing this season. The first place team, they're going to get $1,000 plus six
Woo!
peripherals of their choice. So everyone's
Oh
going to
my
come home with a headset, a mouse, or a keyboard courtesy of Lenovo Legion, along with some Lenovo Legion Go. And second place team is going to be getting a keyboard courtesy of Lenovo
what?
Legion.
What? David, I've been wearing the same headphones for I can't even tell you how long. So that is great. That is a fantastic thing to motivate you definitely to win this, because I definitely that's just great. Again, thank you again to Lenovo Legion for that, because that's fantastic. The
It
kids.
is.
Um for sure.
Well, it seems like that these teams are definitely taking a quick moment to get themselves situated. I am sure that
I
the
would.
nerves and the anxiety are high. They can feel it. They know that what is at stake, and of course, they want to make sure that they come into this final game with the best head on their shoulders. And with that said, Andres, I believe it is time.
Oh, don't say that. This is so like, okay, we are going to Rocco for that Hellfire Gala on the convoy. Oh, this is a fun one. This is gonna be a good one. I do love to see the Angela being hovered, of course, but of course, Angela is a very interesting tank. She's the only tank that flies. She is a flyer. But she can be good in certain situations. But of course, I think ultimately Angela doesn't really fall in a really great, really like just not a great tier. But I think she can be used in a very situational, if that makes any sense. But of course, Emma being that other tank on Speedway's side, with Daredevil being the damage, and the other one being Moon Knight with Gambit and Invisible Woman as their supports. Again, a very strong composition. I would say probably we might see an Angela switch just very close to the beginning, depending on how it goes. But Falcons, of course, we're seeing Storm, very fun character. Emphasis, quotations on fun. And we have Jeff and Invisible Woman, of course, as the supports. Magneto, Venom, Venom for that mobility. Magneto for that, of course, the ultimate and the shield, and Bucky as the damage. Just some really good just compositions on both ends that just like work very well. So here right off the bat, we have Angela being absolutely annoying, just kind of throwing everybody and grabbing everybody with her spear and throwing them around, going right back to the team. That's kind of what Angela wants to do. She kind of wants to grab someone from the back and throw them to your team where they're kind of exposed. They're like, oh no, what am I doing here? But of course, Storm being the fun character she is, grabbing Daredevil right away. One of the few flyer characters in the game, by the way. Storm. Cool character.
Well, early on, it looks like it's all Falcons as they are making some quick work on the convoy and it is speeding its way to that first checkpoint. But for now, it's Speedway trying to come up with some sort of answer here. They do have a couple of ultimates that are going to be at the ready here to try and slow things down, and it looks like they are getting ready to engage, and here it comes. The ultimate there, able to find a little bit of support for their teammates to make a move, and that's going to be 4 down on the side of the Falcons. So Speedway in a pretty decent position to start this one.
Yeah, and here you're seeing this map's definitely kind of like specialty, which are these like high ground. Oh, and they find Bucky just hiding back there, and they take a little bit of of a weird trade there with I think Emma going down on Speedway's side. But as I was mentioning, here we have like a little bit of that characteristic of this map of course Angela throwing Magneto off down into the ground, just being an absolute menace as usually. But we've seen that high ground. We're seeing a lot of people taking that high ground. And it's very important to take that high ground, especially when you're Bucky, when you're Moon Knight, when you're kind of all these characters that are looking to get damage from being in the high ground, of course. And high ground being a very good strategic way of just having an advantage over your enemy. And Gambit going down to Venom, and of course this first point being really fun with that pit of death right there next to the point. Just we've seen about 5 people drop to that pit so far, by Angela, by Gambit, by everybody just kind of falling, even by Jeff. Jeff did a little bit of a number there as well.
And the Falcons find themselves going down a couple of players once again, but the convoy still moves forward. They now have just over a minute to push just a little bit more forward, get through that first checkpoint. So, again, Andres, we're in a pretty familiar position where the clock is
Yep.
winding down and both teams hotly contesting the convoy, trying to make sure that, well, on the defensive side, Speedway making sure that they don't get that clear that first checkpoint. Falcons once again looking for a team fight. If they can win this next team fight, they should be able to clear the next checkpoint.
That's right, and that is 3 players down on Speedway side by Jeff, by the way. Just Jeff absolutely laying it down that damage. And it's looking that we're gonna get that first point by Falcons. Of course, stabilizing her a little bit, looking really nice on the point. Just with a lot of time here. 3 minutes. Pretty good, pretty good. Kind of going to the second point here. That is fairly quickly here. They kind of have to make a pretty sharp turn and go up and then make another sharp turn to kind of grab that second point. But Storm here just kind of getting up to the front with Venom and being an absolute, just damage. This damage character is just kind of really laying it down from a high point of view, which is kind of hard to lay at. But of course, the Speedway does have Bucky for that answer, and they do have the Blade. I don't know why I didn't notice earlier that Blade was out. But Blade unfortunately does go down to Storm. But Blade was a fun character to see being played.
Oh, and the ultimate here, able to pair
Oh,
alongside Jeff. We don't get
Jeff
to see this all
Nato.
too often on Dress, and it looks
Yep.
like it causes just enough disruption. 3 members of Speedway going down, and the Falcons making some steady progress. They should be able to eclipse the mark that we saw the last time we played Convoy.
Oh yeah, and what a lovely team up we do love to see was that Jeff Nato. It only works with Storm and Jeff if you're playing them at the same time. If you do the ultimate and then Jeff joins in, you get this really incredible fun Jeff Nato going on. But of course, we do have a Speedway just kind of trying their best here on the point, while Falcons are just like at every point just getting it. That is 3-2. Sorry, that is 2 eliminations from Bucky. Probably grab another third one here, and that is right, not going to be true. Actually, yes, 3 eliminations from Bucky, and getting to that second point here on the convoy. They only need one more point, and they can go all the way down to the end.
And it looks like, look at how far ahead everyone is playing in front of this convoy. They are not messing around. They know that they are in position to put this game pretty far out of reach for Speedway, possibly. They're going to try to set a very difficult mark to beat. And if the Falcons can blitz through this final checkpoint, it's going to be such an uphill battle for Speedway to respond.
Yep.
And so far, the Falcons have executed beautifully, barring maybe one or two team fights. It's been them this whole way through. And now, here comes the last critical turn here into this final tunnel to be able to complete the convoy and force Speedway to go the distance themselves.
And Bucky just absolutely cleaning up for Speedway here, just getting all those eliminations, making sure that Falcons do not get to any more progression on that convoy. And here we have Doctor Strange for that. Oh, and I think that's the whole team almost. Oh, wow. That's what a great Doctor Strange. Unfortunately, did not grab anybody, which probably how much healing is happening from the other end. And we have so many things happening. We have another Jeff NATO going down, and that is doing all that damage. And that's all they need is that Jeff NATO, and everybody from Speedway will go down. We have Bucky here with one ultimate, but he can't do anything. He does have to back up and kind of meet with his team again. They have to rely on this Bucky getting every elimination here because of that ultimate. Falcons here sitting pretty with 2 eliminations, and of course they are just have that momentum. They're getting close to that point 3.
And here it goes. Bucky now gonna have to make a move here. But it seems like they're able to find one on the side of the Falcon, make it 2. So Speedway has a little bit of life injected back into them. Seeing if they could stop this convoy, they have to run out these final 30 seconds. They might just be able to do that. Try to save at least a little bit of distance, a little bit of wiggle room. Yeah, especially because they know that every inch they give up, they're going to have to retrace those exact steps. And it seems like with the convoy backing up just a little bit, it's gonna give Speedway just that much more wiggle room. But of course, no, the Falcons are coming back now.
Bucky going
it's able
down.
to force it forward just a little bit more. We're heading into overtime here. We need one last stop out of Speedway. They're making forward progress, and they might actually be able to complete this whole convoy here, Andres.
And it is looking like it. Just so many ults going on here. They lost Bucky with his ultimate. He is coming down any second now. But we have Human Torch doing so much damage with these tornadoes, and just Bucky coming out with that ult. It looks like Speedway might be able to hold them here. Just all Falcons going down, 4, 5 people, and the last person going down, and it's looking like they might not make that last one. That Speedway just being able to manage those ults very, very well. Even Bucky going down, as scary as it was, even with the ultimate and everything, they still managed to sit there. Human Torch just absolutely raining it down on them. They couldn't do anything about that. And then as soon as he ulted, that was what, 3 eliminations from Human Torch? That's just great value from him there at the end.
Oh man, it all comes down to this now. Speedway has one
Has to make it to the end.
This is where both teams make their last stand. An opportunity for glory. Speedway
no way to tie.
2 checkpoints plus almost the entirety of the third to be able to run away with the championship. I am so excited for this, Andres.
Yep. This is what the fellas say, do or die. This is it. It is either Speedway needs to make it to the end, and if they can't, they will lose. And if they will win the championship. This is championship life for both of them. No one is down. This is down to the last game. This is it right here. It doesn't get any better than this. They're even playing tic-tac-toe on the ground. Look at that.
just a little bit of a pre-game tic-tac-toe. Got to warm up here. It looks like we're going to get a bit of a stalemate in this tic-tac-toe. But they're going to be immediately greeted by the Falcons, who are ready to get going, already putting up a nice defense to get things started. And this first team fight, it looks like it's Speedway that gets the slightest upper hand here, trying to see if they could actually poke out Jeff. No, Jeff's gonna go and back up out completely, but Speedway's the one that's making some good forward progress here to try to ice out Falcons. They have them just shoved back into this corridor, Andres, and Speedway is making their presence known early.
That's right. And they are just, even with that high ground, it is not looking good because Speedway is pushing them completely out of that high ground. Here we have that Iron Man with his ultimate. He looks like a juicy but he kind of decided against it. I think there definitely could be a better time for that. But of course, the Falcons have been pushed down a little bit back to that end, and this convoy is looking pretty, moving fast, looking very, 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 very nice so far. And here we have a lot of pressure here from Speedway onto the Falcons. Falcons losing 2 people, about to probably lose their third one. Hopefully, Venom can probably live here a little bit longer to keep it alive for those Falcon players to come back. But of course, Hella going down. An interesting Hella pick. That's very good. It looks like they were bothered by the flyers like Human Torch. So Hela has come out. But it's looking at Hela is not doing too much because Iron Man and Human Torch are out, just kind of doing stroll in the park. Stroll in the park so far.
Iron Man got a pretty sweet double there earlier, and that's going to allow for this first checkpoint. At least we thought the first checkpoint to get
Mm-hmm.
cleared. Stopped right in the nick of time.
There you go.
But
Falcon's curse.
nonetheless, yeah, Speedway, though, does have 4 ultimates to their name. It looks like they're going to try to deploy these to force their way through this checkpoint. They do have
Human
2
Torch.
minutes to work with, though, so
Two
there's
big picks
plenty of
though.
time and a couple of nice picks there, like you said, Andres. And this should allow Speedway to clear this first checkpoint now. But it looks like the Falcons continue to try to make a stand, see if they could slow this one down, but gonna have to ultimately concede it.
And the Human Torch absolutely just making a microwave, an oven of this map, just throwing these tornadoes everywhere that the Falcons are at. Falcons have absolutely no answer for this Human Torch here on Speedway's side. He's just kind of raining it down. He's doing that much damage. He's looking really nice here. And of course, we have the Iron Man ult still up and ready, and the Gambit ult here as well, ready for them. So, and the Falcons do have 4 ultimates online, coming down to probably 6 in a little bit. So we're gonna need a little bit of ultimate economy for sure, so we can get out of this one alive. But with Falcons, they need to stop this point. They are at 3 minutes and a half, and they're already way past what the Falcons were on the last round.
Yeah, they are making some pretty quick progress. So Speedway in a solid position, but they lose a 3 there. And
Yep.
it seems like the Falcons now are in a pretty solid spot to respond. It's one of the players who are going to be getting chased, forcing them back. This convoy now slowly retreating, as it seems like the Falcons doing everything that they can to get back into position here. So Speedway, once again, now moving this convoy forward. They have 3 ultimates at the ready. Falcons matching with 2 of their own, but it's a numbers game in which it is actually now even. So this next team fight could really start to swing momentum back into one team's favor. It's just going to come down to who's able to kind of play the spacing, play the right timing, play the positioning, as we start to see a couple of folks flirting with some flank options.
Oh yeah, and here we have Hela, a very good view here on Hela, who unfortunately just got eliminated, but he was putting a lot of pressure in that Iron Man and that Human Torch on that side, of course, as well. But here we have Speedway kind of gaining that momentum right back again. 2 minutes on the clock. They're about to get that second point. It's looking a little bit scary for Falcons here for sure, but Falcons, they can probably turn things around here if they just work with their ultimates pretty well. But unfortunately, Speedway is putting it down with that Human Torch. He's just doing so much damage. He's just doing everything for free.
Oh, the
Yeah.
triple out of the Human Torch there, looking for a 4th. They aren't gonna let up, and it looks like that this next checkpoint should fall. Is this the 4th pick? No, it's gonna be just short. I
He
think.
can't find her.
Oh,
She's right there. She's right there.
It's so bad, but not
Ah.
gonna get there. They're gonna have to go ahead and back up, support the rest of the team, make sure that they clear this next checkpoint because they know that this is only 2/3 of the journey.
In 3 minutes on the clock, all they need to do is not even get to the end. It's close to the end, but it is not there, so they don't really have to push it all the way through, which is actually really good for Speedway. And Speedway here just again looking really good. Not a lot of ultimates though, unfortunately, but I think they can definitely charge a couple for that next fight for sure. Falcons do have the Invisible Woman ult here. They have to use that very smartly, because it's going to come down to really kind of playing off of that. It could save them, or it could also just lose them the game, unfortunately, because if used wrong, it doesn't really help. And that's Magneto going down for Falcons. That's one less person. That's Invisible Woman ult coming out. That has to keep everybody alive, but unfortunately, Venom doesn't get out there, down 2 tanks, David. They just can't keep up here. They just can't keep up. Speedbit just has so much damage coming out, even with no ult online.
Speedway now just closing in on a
So
potential
close.
championship. They have to get through this last bit of space here. Falcons recognize that this is the last stand. A minute and a half defense has to be rock solid if they're going to be able to survive this and walk away with a championship. But this team fight, quick on the engagement here. Iron Man trying to find a pick, able to fly into a possibly better position here, trying to maintain a little bit of high ground, hovering right above this convoy. They know that if they can find just one more pick, they do have the one-man advantage, make that a two-man advantage, and there is the line, the finish line, just right over the edge. They just need a sneeze on this convoy to get it there on Dress. It is a matter of inches.
It's so close, and you have Iron Man just being completely uncontested. Captain America trying his best just to keep onto the point, and Falcons just keep trying to get on to stop the point even a little bit, but it's nothing against the fire that is Speedway, and Speedway just getting that close to that championship. They're so close, and of course, as we were talking about earlier in the last point here, that defenders do have a little bit of an advantage with that spawn point being so close. That's why they keep coming back, and they keep coming back, and they keep coming back. So it's a little bit hard for Speedway to kind of keep up here, but of course they do have the momentum. The momentum is what's important. But of course, Falcons popping up Invisible Woman. Oh my god, it could really go either way at this point. Just 20 seconds left on the clock with two people for Speedway going down. David, this could be anything at this point. That's one person going down from Falcons now. Oh, and Captain America, they have stabilized. They have stabilized with 10 seconds left. With 10 seconds left, they have to Doctor Strange teleporter. Here we see the Strange coming out with 2 seconds left. They have to touch or it's overtime. I think they're close. They're on there. David, I'm shaking. This is unbelievable. They made it on. Speedway getting 2 kills. They're gonna make it. They did it.
Oh my god. Got there. Speedway coming in at the 11th hour. Game series championship for Speedway.
Oh my god. Oh my god. That was incredible. The Doctor Strange at the end, that's all they needed to touch the point, and that was just enough to kill 2 people that were on the point, and it was oh, I have no words. I'm absolutely blown away by what an incredible game 5.
I have never seen anything quite like this. That is just simply the best way that I could put it. This was single-handedly the best match of Marvel Rivals that I have personally witnessed. It is the best that I think we have ever seen in the USAEL Open in this league's, young life. And I think that we have set a standard of what championship material really is all about moving forward, because we have established 2 titans that just played out an instant classic.
David, if they had just stabilized a second later, they would have not made it to the point. If there was 9 seconds left instead of 10, Speedway would have not touched the point at the end.
It was a game of inches.
It,
Game of inches,
to
game
the
of seconds,
micro.
milliseconds.
The
It's you really could not have asked for a closer finish. It was a photo finish. That's what it was. Well,
I'm blown away. Doctor Strange is pulling it at the last second. I thought he wasn't gonna make it. I thought 10 seconds wasn't enough. I was like, yeah, no way. He just switched. That was the fastest Strange ult I've ever seen. And then I saw the overtime come out, and I saw 2 instant eliminations by Speedway. Game.
Yeah, it's the words. There's just no way to adequately describe the type of match that we have had the privilege of spectating, commentating, witnessing today. It was just cinema from start to finish. both of these teams really should be holding their heads high following this one. We knew that these were two Titans coming in. They had met one time in the regular season, and it was close then. It was even closer now, as these two just made sure that they capitalize on every opportunity. They we saw a lot of adjustments throughout. It was a pure chess match. I'm sure that if we extended this to a best of 7, best of 9, we would continue to go the distance. That is how close these two teams are. And I think one thing's for sure is that they're going to come out of this probably pretty good scrim partners. This is what academic esports is all about. It's building those relationships and being able to, one, provide all of these wonderful young student athletes an opportunity to compete and showcase their skills in a game that is so team oriented and competitive like Marvel Rivals. But more importantly beyond that, it's building those skills, building the community, and I really hope that these two teams kind of have found a community within each other.
Yeah, just an absolute, again, great show for both ends. A great experience. Of course, it just I think friendships have been made. Because I want to go again.
Same
I'd
time
want to
next
go.
semester.
Yep, I'd want to go again. Um, it
Well,
is nothing but competitiveness, and that's the spirit of it all. At the end of the day,
yeah, these two teams have stolen my heart. That is for sure. I am a fan of them both, and
wow.
this was just an absolute amazing way for us to wrap up the USAEL USAEL Open inaugural season. So it has been an absolute pleasure and privilege to be able to work with a lot of these amazing schools. And
Mm-hmm.
Andres, thank you so much for joining us today as our co-commentator. This was everything that we had really hoped to be able to get out of these productions, and something that I know for sure we want to look to do more of moving forward. So I think that there's just so much great takeaway from a successful first season. But it's, hey, Speedway, congratulations once
Congrats.
again. A very well deserved victory.
And also just well thought out by Falcons. Like that was no easy feat on both ends. So for sure, pat yourselves on the back because
Mm-hmm.
that was definitely not like he didn't go out there. This was like to the wire, to the teeth, to the like as we are talking to the second. It came down to I think, like I said, if you guys had just
If the breeze blew
stabilized,
away just a
yeah,
slightly different angle, we'd be
a
talking about a
second
different
second
game
later,
entirely, a different storybook ending.
yeah,
But alas, I mean, Speedway are
yeah,
champions.
congrats.
It's congratulations.
Still a great Doctor Strange
I,
portal at the end.
yeah, we'll be talking
I don't
about
even.
this
It
for
happened so
for
fast.
months, for hopefully seasons to come. But alas, that is gonna do it for us, Andres. Thank you so much to all of the teams that have participated this season in the USAEL Open. We greatly appreciate you playing with us. We will see you all next season for some more USAEL Open competition. If you would like to learn a little bit more about the USAEL, you can actually head on over to usacademicesports.com/open and get started. With that said, thank you all so much for watching. We will see you next semester. Happy holidays and Happy New Year.
Have a good one.